if there's a couple of streaks there, that $1,500 window cleaning job had a 0% satisfaction rating. And so what I mean by that is the biggest challenge is the details and making sure that if we're pressure washing, you spray bleach on stuff and then you spray water on there, and you're using a shotgun. When you're window cleaning, it's a sniper thing, and you got to be very, very, very sure. So that's the hard thing. So window cleaning is actually a lot harder in my experience on the training side of things, because you can have a guy doing a house wash on day one as long as there's nothing out of the ordinary. But like window cleaning, you can have a guy for 2 weeks that's working with you on window cleaning and he still sucks just because because of that. So that's the biggest thing. And then I would say the next thing with window cleaning is it's difficult. I'm not a fan of saying things are impossible, but it's very unlikely you're going to have an hourly rate at the same for window cleaning that you do pressure washing. And there's exceptions to it. Like I said, that one job I just told you about, I'll have 2 guys out there for 6 hours and they'll do $1,500. So that's a good day for two pressure washing guys, right? So there are exceptions, but when you're talking first time cleans and stuff, if you want to get that hourly rate up there where each guy's doing $100 an hour or more, type of thing, you're going to have a hard time doing that, getting those prices on window cleaning. It's just more difficult. But on the flip side, no wear and tear on pressure washers. You're not paying for fuel. You're not paying for this, that. Buy a water fed pole for the outside and you're good to go. And I would say this, I don't necessarily recommend interior window cleaning for pressure washing companies, but my opinion is if you're a pressure washing company, you should have a water fed pole on each one of your trucks, because it's the easiest upsell and you can train a monkey to do it and it works great. So
absolutely. It's crazy. I even talk to people. It's like, well, what purification system are you using? And they're like, I'm not using anything. I'm hooking my, in some places have great water and they're not, really nasty, yucky water. And they're like, I'm hitting the window with a water fed pole and unplugging it and calling it a day. And I'm like, what? And they're like, and I was like,
that would be nice.
Why wouldn't you do that at that point? That's insane.
And just to wrap up your question on the interior windows, unless you have some others, but like for my business, I've sat here and I've thought to myself, man, I've thought many times about eliminating interior window cleaning, because like I've heard one person before that has a pressure washing company. He said, every time I go into someone's home, I'm losing money. Every time I go inside, and we don't make quite as much money, doing that necessarily, but sometimes we get some of these giant houses. Like I have a 20,000 square foot house that we do their house wash and all that, type of maintenance for, but we have it because we do the insides of their windows. So if you're going after the big stuff, people want one company to do it all. Right. So for us, it's been beneficial. And I think what I'm going to do, Ray, and again, this is why I don't necessarily recommend a pressure washing company to add interior windows unless you really want to go all in, is you're probably not going to be real successful training one crew of 2 guys to be great at pressure washing and great at interior window cleaning. So what I'm probably going to do is my 4th vehicle, because I've got 2 on the road right now, I'm going to have a 3rd one pretty soon, and then the 4th one will be Q1 of 2020. That one's probably going to be like a dedicated window cleaning van. So I'll have 3 pressure washing trucks and then a window cleaning vehicle.
It's funny you say that, because that's something where we've mulled around the idea of doing, and I've talked to my crews about that. And even just because it chaps my butt to sit there and see a $2,000 filter and $1,500 pole thrown in the back of my trucks and rattling around out there. And I was thinking, what if I had one of those little Sprinter vans, and load that puppy up with 500 gallons of purified water, and then have an RODI system in there as well, and 500 foot of hose and a little pump on there, and send the guys that send one guy out maybe to go do windows to follow up the residential crews as they're doing them. And I'm working that through in my mind, and that might be an expansion that I wind up doing at some point.
And not to get too deep into this, but my thoughts, like, I don't, one thing I've done, because the pole was driving me crazy too, I just put one of those, I don't know what they call them, but the tubes you put to carry poles and stuff in the back of the truck. So I just got one of those tubes, so they slide the pole in there, and we can even lock it so
Right.
someone can't steal your
Yeah.
expensive pole. And that's taking the wear and tear off of that. But I'm probably gonna always like I'm working on my truck build on having truck mounted RODI systems for the pressure washing trucks, because as long as they water fed pole works, piece of cake,
Yeah.
and my guys actually love doing it, like
Yeah.
they like running that water fed pole because you don't get dirty. It's not hard,
Right.
it's good stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tell us more about your. I want to talk a little bit more about your blog. I want people to visit that and learn what they can from it. So
All
talk to
right.
me about that and what all you do on there.
Well, first I want to point out that the 48-year-old keeps calling my YouTube channel a blog, so I
I
think
know.
that's funny.
I mean, again, you don't want to learn technical crap from.
Nah, Ray, I know you got a good personality. Otherwise, I take it back. I'm a jerk to everybody, but I love you, man. I love your personality. Uh, here's the problem with me. I probably look older than you, and I'm 40, so that's I got that going for me. But uh, the but my wife's 41. She just turned 41. I keep
Oh,
telling
the
her,
older women. Yeah, there
I'm
you
like,
go.
she's robbing the cradle, and I'm robbing the grave. Is what I tell her. Uh, she's a good woman.
And
She's
this is where
amazing.
Bobby dies.
Yeah. Honest, I'm not gonna lie. She's like the nicest woman on the planet, and I don't know why she's with me, but I'm happy about it. So, um, okay, so let me tell the story this way. Like I had mentioned, I was in the corporate world. I was in security, so intrusion systems, fire alarms, access control, stuff like that. Worked my way from being a technician, got up to I call it middle management. I don't really know the definition, but I was like my boss was the COO. You know what I mean? So I wasn't executive level, but I was middle management there. Was real happy with my career because I had no education other than high school, and finally I was making good money. I was making over six.
Right.
Well, not over six digits. I wasn't making seven digits, but I was making good money
Right.
and more than I thought I was ever going to make and all this great stuff. Well, fast forward a little and fast forward through a lot of details. Um, I A merger's happening and I find out I'm losing my job. And
Hmm.
and boy, let me tell you, man, I was sick to my stomach and I had actually. Do you know who Keith Kalfas is by chance?
Yeah.
So he's Keith. He's the window cleaning guy
Yeah.
on YouTube. He
Yeah.
does landscaping and window cleaning. Well, I had just by chance never heard of this guy in my life. I watched a video of his on YouTube because I was thinking about doing a side hustle for some business, And I stumbled across this video of his that says, "Here's how you can start a window cleaning company for $100." And he walks through Lowe's and says, "Buy this, this, and this, and go sell stuff." And I thought, that's an interesting concept. I mean, I'm far too good to be a window cleaner. I mean, this is really what I was thinking. I'm like, I would never stoop to window cleaning level. But so anyway, I thought interesting concept. It is what it is. Well, I found out like an hour or two or three later, my best friend who was still in middle management because I had to take a demotion to move back to Florida. He calls me and he's like, "Hey, Bob, they just sent out a list of people that are getting eliminated, and you're on the list." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I moved here and I don't have any more savings and this and that." And I thought, well, I guess I'm starting a window cleaning company. So the next morning,
What hour this squeegee son?
that, I'm not kidding you. I walked into Lowe's and I pulled my phone out and I pulled that video up and I just walked down the aisle and got two of everything because my son wanted to do it too. And so anyway, I'm driving around and I'm like, God, I'm just so scared. And because I was full of fear. I'm a very emotional guy, and I'm either on a mountaintop or I'm in the valley, and there's just no in between for me. And a few days, 2, 3, 4 days had went by, and I'm just like, oh, what am I doing, and I didn't want to take all the stress home to my wife. I wanted to walk home with kind of with a strong front and not just dump everything on her, even though she would have been willing to go through that with me. I didn't want to do that to her. And I thought, I'm just gonna like talk to a camera and just kind of do a diary on because I don't like to write. And I'm like, I'll do like a journal on video format. And then I thought, well, my phone will fill up with video too fast. So I'll put them on YouTube and I just started recording these videos on YouTube and I was just kind of talking about what I was going through. Well, I've lost my job and here's what's going on and now I'm scared and I ended up naming the channel Journey of a New Entrepreneur. And I thought, it's just the truest name that I could have. It's because that's all it was. It was
Right.
just, here's the journey. Maybe I'm going to fail, maybe I'm going to succeed, but I'm going to put it out there for you to watch. Some people started watching, and it's not a big channel, but I get, a lot of people watch it, and all it is, like, it's not a how to, like, Ray is the king for like how to do pressure washing correctly. Like, go watch his stuff if you want to know how to do that. A good friend of mine, Josh Latimer, he's, I would call him the king at telling you how to do a great job on sales and marketing and managing and leading inside of your business. Um, my channel is not either one of those things. Mine's more like, if you want to watch a dumpster fire with some occasional victories, you know, you can watch it, and that's it. So, I don't do how tos. I don't tell you how to. I made a video telling you how to do sales packages just because I thought it would be useful. But my thing is like, hey, here's a big job. We don't know how the hell we're going to clean it, but we're going to figure it out. Or oh my God, I can't make payroll this week. Or there was one video that I recorded. It's called A Dark Moment in My Journey, and I just talk about how I had been such an asshole to my son, who was my business partner, that he just wanted to quit. He didn't want to do it anymore because I was too overbearing and too,
Right.
and but so if you want to go through and just kind of see like I would say, Ray and Josh, they're the how tos, and I'm more of maybe the emotional side of it. Just kind of like,
Right.
here's what it's like doing a business and trying to chase the dream and all that stuff. And then I started a podcast to go along with it. And the podcast is very similarly themed. Ray, you've actually been on it, as you know. And again, it's just more like trying to learn other people's journey as they go through it. So that's what it is. It's just a hobby. It's just something I enjoy doing. I don't have like an end game with it or anything like that. But I've connected with a ton of people, literally all around the world through it, and have a good time with it.
That's one of the things that I truly do love about this business is I've never been in an industry where people are so willing to share and to give and to
Yep.
help others. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of people started out much like I did, much like you did, of just having their asses handed to them
Hmm.
suddenly and trying to figure it out. So I think a lot of us empathize with new guys coming into this business and going, I'm going to help them, because a lot of us have had our own personal demons, we've had our own personal problems, and we want to see people do well out there. And we also know that it's not going to be all sunshine and lollipops too. You talk about the dark day with your son. I mean,
Hmm.
God knows there's days that I really want to go home and kick the freaking dog, and yell at Tanya, and she would yell right back at me. I mean, it's not all even, I consider myself very blessed and fortunate, but it's not all sunshine and lollipops out there, man.
About a week ago, I forget. I think it was my son. He had called me, letting me know what was going on a job or something. And I was just having a bad day. And I said, I'm going to punch the next puppy I see. But no, you're right. And as a testament to this industry, like coming from the security industry, everyone hated each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you didn't talk to the competition. If you saw them, maybe you'd spit on them. I mean, it was
Right, right.
bad.
Yeah, Honeywell isn't calling up Sonatrol and going, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" This.
Exactly. But and for those of you watching, Ray's the prime example of this is, I've called Ray before. Well, I messaged him. Had no clue who I was. Sent me his phone number. I could have been a psycho, murderer. Sends me his phone number, talks to me, 8:30 at night one night because I'm having a problem, and he probably needs to be out on a date with his wife, but that's how it goes. And I've had the same experience time after time after time. And so yeah, I really do enjoy this industry. I'm proud to be a part of it, and it's been great. This journey, all of this stuff. I'm like, we're doing it, and I had mentioned it, I think, earlier on this recording, but my son, we were in the car, he went on a sales appointment with me earlier today, and we were like, man, it's so easy to like get in the middle of what you're doing right now and feel maybe insignificant. You're right in the middle of it, and it's like, you got this stress and that stress. But if you can step back, look back 6 months, look back 12 months, and you're like, oh my God, we're doing things. We're building it. We are chasing that dream, and it's fun stuff. And if you haven't got that far yet, if you're in month one or week one, uh, you keep that head down, grind that stuff out and just listen to what the successful guys have done. If you don't have money for marketing, you need flyers. You need to get some flyers, and someone can loan you $300 to print off a bunch of flyers. And let me tell you, Ray, is 500 flyers a bunch of flyers?
No,
No.
that's a day and a half.
Yeah. If you're, when you're going to get out there, you grind it out, and you need to do 300, 400 flyers every day
Yeah.
for. I think I did flyers for 3 months before we started getting traction with them, like
I
thousands
mentioned
and thousands
I
of them.
mentioned on those flyers, one of the reasons, not only did I put an expiration date on those door hangers to spur the customer into activity, I also put that expiration date on those flyers to spur me into
Yep.
activity, because I know that, okay, I've got 3 months to get these things, have a shelf life of 3 months. If I don't get them out there in 3 months, they're
Hmm.
trash. They
Yeah.
expired, you know?
Yep.
And that's a big motivator out there for you, to know that you're going to have to go spend that money that you don't have already. You're going to have to go spend it again on
Mm.
there.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something in the very beginning, and you were talking about fixing, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. And I can't remember, this is not an original, an original thought, very, like I said, very little original thought out there. And I'm just parroting something that I've heard along the way. But, we say, I want to be better. I want to make everything better. I want to be the best out there. What if, instead of trying to change everything and change everything in your company and all your systems, what if you took what you already did and made everything, all of these processes, 1% better or 5% better out there? So now everything gets a little bit better. So now this customer experience, everything they have in there is boom, until it's as good as it can get out there. But don't radically try to change everything you do at one moment. Just take the baby steps to
Yeah.
changing the stuff.
Yeah. No, couldn't agree more. You